Greetings from Snake Mountain Boat Works on Thursday, February 21, 2019. Yes, we're back with the Eagle. In fact, the Eagle is flying. We've done most of this stripping of the topsides, the decks, covering boards, coamings, the back deck area, the intermediate deck, and we've made a series of interesting discoveries. In removing the coamings, I faced a particularly unpleasant, nasty reality. There's no way I can tell whether this was Lyman's work or somebody in between. Now, after all, she has been around for 80 odd years. I'm sure she's been worked on a number of times. In fact, we've now discovered that her transom has been entirely replaced, of the framing, the planking, and everything. And unfortunately, whoever did it did a really excellent joinery job. But I pulled a couple of bungs below the waterline yesterday. Yeah, you've said it. There they were, stainless steel fasteners. So I'll have to remove all of them and rebung those holes, because the fasteners have already decayed significantly. It's impossible to tell how long ago that transom was put in, but it was. But the other issue is right before you. These are examples of the screws that held down and secured the coaming. And the problem is, they're all mild steel. Being mild steel, they rusted right into the wood. Most of them I was able to remove using an impact gun and a flat driver, but I can't tell you how many flat drivers I destroyed and bent trying to get these things started. But if we just move a little bit aft, raise the camera. Sorry for the shake, rattle, and roll. Let me come up here. I think you can see. Let me pan in. I think it'll be quite visible. 6 screws on starboard, and intriguingly 6 screws on port simply would not release. We had no choice but to reach for our fine multi-master cutting tool and slicing these off at deck height. And then we were faced with the reality, I'm not going to screw this all the way in, but if I did, what's left of this screw, and it's interesting, I can see that it's rusted all the way in, was just flush with the covering boards, the coaming base, and drilling out something this long was going to be terrible. So how are we going to do it? Well, Joe and I kicked it around this morning, and RJ had made a similar suggestion yesterday. Well, why don't you drill out around what's left of the screw, put a small vice grip on it, and see if you can back it out. Well, I reached for our rotophase cutter and put a 9/16 cutter on it, drilled each of these failures down as far as I could. That exposed, I'd say about a strong 1/8 of shaft. I was able to remove them with the rotor broach, and we've got them all out. We will plug them with 9/16 mahogany bungs But while that problem is solved, this one is not. This thin 3/4 inch board, together with the frames running athwart all the way to the bow. But this is a critical one. See how much it deflects? And I'm not putting a lot of pressure on it. I'm below the boat. I can't really put a lot of pressure. Our problem is that the water trap that we've already discussed, that was up here where the coaming was at its maximum height, the windshield comes right across here. So while there's a little bit of rot in these blocks, by the time we have plugged these big holes, they're going to be fine. What concerns us is this corner, and to a lesser degree, the same corner on port. We'll know better when we release these two planks, which we have to, because they're both rotted beyond saving. So once we get those off, we'll be able to see what's beneath them. But my concern is that this guy is just lost most of its strength. We've got options. We could sister another piece to the back of this, but that would entail driving another row of the common nails that have been used to fasten the decks on this boat. That's not original. It would most likely be pretty ugly. So we're just going to leave that now and begin working on the bottom. We have, at this point, completely denuded the interior of the boat. We've agreed with the owner that everything inside the boat that was finished bright and for which the varnish, it really is in truly remarkable condition, we will do a couple of test pieces and attempt sanding them flat and varnishing them to see if we can get a result that is at all close to or consistent with what we will produce when we do the decks and the coaming and all of the bright work that starts at the rub rail and continues around the horizontal surfaces of the boat, the seating, the engine box, etc. So that is yet to be decided. For right now, I'm in the process of raising her and putting a series of jack stands under her, which will allow me to begin stripping what I hope is not 20 or 30 coats of bottom paint. Too many people seem to think that maintenance means slapping on another coat every spring. Well, slapping on another coat every spring only risks losing adhesion between previous coats and what's beneath them. You just end up with a mess. So let's crank her up and see if we can get her on jack. So we will be supporting her at 3 points. We'll use a V-shaped jack stand under the bow, and you really want to make certain that this jack stand is not placed too far aft. You'd like it to keep it in this area. In the case of a Lyman, in the knee area where the knee is still flat and it's under a lot of framing. Not back here. This is fine temporarily, but it's not fine for weeks on end as we work on the bottom. There's just not enough support here. I've seen so many Lyman sitting on trailers with a great big roller right back in this area, and of course you know what we have. We have a huge hog. So at the front, we'll have a single jack stand, and then we will place 2 others at the aft corners underneath the transom, again, to protect the hull of the boat from a hogging situation. So the process is not very sophisticated. It's a matter of round and round and round. Until we have them high enough. Now we can slide a jack stand beneath it. You don't want to get the nose of the boat up too high, because doing so risks this strap sliding off. Okay, we are within shouting distance of getting this guy where we want him to be. I always stick a piece of blue board or something beneath the keel. Locate this right here, because there's a keel strip. Well, there was. We'll remove this and replace it because the rest of it is gone. So there. We've got it. The Eagle landed on 1 point over a 3-point landing. I'll keep cranking up. Get her beneath, get her jack stands beneath her transom, and then it's me and my bucket of circa 1850 stripper and my scrapers, and we'll start at the bottom. And we'll be back once I've started working on the bottom for another update. Until then, thank you so much. Bye-bye for now from Snake Mountain Boat Works.